Oh my word, Max Dowman is a super talent. I don't know about you guys, but if you didn't watch the FA Youth Cup quarter-final between Manchester United and Arsenal, I feel sorry for you, because for me that was a Max Dowman show. He was absolutely incredible. And I'm not just saying this because there's a lot of hype around him and all of this sort of stuff. He is actually genuinely a super talent. The way he receives the ball, the way he drives with the ball, the way he's confident to pick the ball in deeper areas, it is not normal. And for me, I've watched plenty of games of Max Dowman, but I really wanted to sit down, watch him in focus. His out of possession work rate, his in possession work rate, it is to a top level. And let's be honest, Arsenal's academy right now, we probably do lack the attacking talent. I'll be very, sort of critical there. We've got Kedak O'Neill, we've got Harry Mananus, really great players. But to the standard of the Max Dowmans, we really do lack. But at the back, of course, we have a lot of talent. There is one particular 15-year-old centre-half who was just so good in the game. But this is on Max Dowman. I mean, I've made, 15 videos about him. And every time I get the opportunity to talk about him, I'm just even more impressed. Like, how can I watch somebody and be even more impressed? That's how I feel with Max Dowman. Is this simple truth? It really is. And I'm sure a lot of the Arsenal boys would have been watching the game and watching him play, because he does this against them in first team training. The way he's receiving and driving the ball, the way he's bullying people, he does that in training. There's been whispers he does that to the senior players. Your Gabriels, your Declan Rices, Max Dowman is dropping them, carrying the ball past them like he is in these games. And I think if it wasn't for the Premier League regulations, he'd be playing regular for Arsenal, 100%. If there wasn't restrictions, if they weren't telling him that he couldn't play, Max Dowman would be starting. He would be. Not starting, sorry, getting a bit carried away. He would be getting many cameos, many cameos. I can tell you that for free, because this sort of super talent, you can't keep him restricted in the academy for way too long. And he's not even a professional yet. He hasn't signed his first pro deal. He's only 15. He has to be 17 to sign that. So the fact he's doing this, I mean, wow. I just could not believe my eyes, really. I've seen Miles Lewis-Skelly. I've seen Ethan Nwaneri. I've seen all of these players have the opportunity to play for our fantastic academy and show their talent. But today, I feel like the way he influences the game, it is generational. It is generational. And I don't like to compare our academy talents altogether, because they're all brilliant. But Max Dowman has, I would say, better carrying capabilities than Ethan Nwaneri. Ethan is really good in situations in and around the box, with his ball striking, with his ability to go on the outside, on the inside. He's great at that. But Max Dowman, carrying from deep areas, his ability to eat up space, he's quick with the ball driving as well. It is phenomenal. And all I'm going to actually say is we're just blessed with Hale End. We quite literally are. We've just got so many good players coming through now. We had a little bit of a dry spell in terms of talents. I think 2-3 years. We're looking at the Balogun group, those sort of guys. They weren't really Miguel Aziz. They didn't really happen. At all. But now we're starting to see, since the Saka, Smith Rowe and Nketiah sort of cohort, another cohort coming through, and they're still young. They're just ridiculously young and ridiculously talented. And I think what's impressive is we're just getting these left-footed midfielders and left-footed talents. It is an absolute joke. Like, what is stopping us from one day feeling a Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri and Max Dowman midfield three, all English, all Hale End? Nothing is actually stopping us, and I could see it happening. Miles, I know, has played left back and he's probably more suited to the 8, but he can play 6 too. So we'd be in a fantastic situation. Not many academies in the world can boast that they can have 3 left-footed midfielders, 3 English talents, and they have the ability that the guys that I've named have. It is a privilege, really. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta was watching the AFA Youth Cup game. Yes, we lost, but I feel like we've all come out that game just in awe of Max Dowman and his ability on the ball, his work rate as well. I want to touch on that more, because yes, he can be fantastic on the ball, but I liked what he was doing in there. It can be quite difficult, when you are sort of that guy on the pitch. You can almost just take a back seat. Yes, he was asked to play further up the pitch and his defensive responsibility wasn't that much, but when he was asked to, there was the work ethic to get back, to cover the midfield spaces. He had it. There was a desire. He was demanding. He's come up as a sort of, from reports, apparently he's quite a quiet person, but today he was loud in terms of demanding winning the ball. If he was to give one to the referee, he was not afraid to do that. And I can see a guy who's growing into himself. At just 15, it's a lot to take on. Let's not joke around here. He's just 15. He's not even physically fully finished growing. He's not even mentally finished growing as well. There's so many trials and tribulations ahead for Max Dowman, but he just plays with this maturity and assertiveness that not many people in football, let alone youth football, have. It's a super talent. It really, really is. And I encourage you to watching, whilst you're watching this video, to be like, okay, another top talent here. Let's of course be careful and not talk too much on him and say he's going to be the best player in the world. But for me, I've made a video before saying he's a Ballon d'Or winning talent. And I'm sure some of you, maybe your eyes were opened watching the FA Youth Cup game and said, okay, this kid, he has that Ballon d'Or potential, even though we don't want to put too much pressure on him. You can see the fundamentals are there physically, ability-wise, technically as well. He has all of the little blocks needed to be a success. And we've seen how Mikel Arteta has been with Waneri and Lewis Skelly. I'm sure the embedding process for Max Dowman is going to be the same. And I fully expect him to go on tour with us. I definitely feel like he'll be on pre-season. And I'm just a massive fan of Max Dowman. And I hope he keeps on going, because he is just a supreme talent.